Okay, good afternoon, guys. I'm here in a little conference room on campus, and I thought maybe the easiest thing for me to do would be to come in and shoot this little video and talk to people about what I've been seeing from all your responses so far. Just about everybody has gotten something in, which has been great, and really kind of interested in seeing everybody's background. I've seen a lot of people mentioning the fact that I want to be an athletic director. There are days I watch our athletic director and I wonder if I would ever want that job myself, but interesting aspiration. Other people talk about agents, and my first wisecrack back to you is, oh yeah, where are you going to law school? So, bunch of things to think about, but I'll stop wisecracking and try to get a little bit more serious here. Thank you again for being as participative as you have, and if you have not yet, please do so right away, because starting next week in Unit 2, the discussion board is really going to count, and I think I said very clearly, and if I didn't, I'm going to say it very clearly now. Discussion board is very, very important to me, and it's a very important part of the course, and if you are in the discussion board on a timely basis, read the best practices that I put in the course information. It's going to help us all. If you wait till the end of the week, chances are I'm the only one that's going to see it, and that's not really going to help us all do a lot of learning and exchanging of ideas. So please do that, okay? Sport, probably our favorite topic here. We're all doing it, and I just thought I'd look quickly now that you've had a chance to get a little bit familiar with what's going on. I thought I'd just look quickly, and as you see me reaching out here to scroll through my slide deck, just a couple of comments on what you see in the PowerPoint for Chapter 1. So I do hope everybody's already got the book, and if you haven't, please get it, because we are going to be using the book. And if not, at least for this week, try following along in Chapter 1. The Chapter 1 PowerPoint. It's going to make a difference. But as you can see, what we're doing here in Chapter 1, we talk about how sports really do play an outsized role in our lives and our society, and many of our comments so far, we've seen that. I've seen what people have had to say, and it affects all of us. We tend to get emotionally involved, and that's what caused me to bring up the first comment I did. Please try, as you go along here, to think like an economist, think like an owner, think like a governmental official. Don't think like a fan, because it's going to cloud your judgment. And we're going to think about things in fan terms. Not really the right way to approach this. Although I'm going to fall victim to it very many times and talk to you like a fan myself. So that's there. Sports are big business, but really in the scheme of things, they're not a very big business. You can see, just in one of the first slides, it says in 2008, the baseball, the NBA, the NFL, and NHL generated $19 billion in revenue, and Cigna Insurance generated $19 billion all by itself. So sports is big, but it's not a driving force. So as you can see, there's a disconnect between the reality of the numbers and the reality of the emotion that we put into it. So that's one thing to think of. Organization, what we're going to do, we're going to look at several things. We're going to look at economic concepts, and I tried to put a humorous little review of principles of economics in there for you. If you found it funny, fine. If you didn't find it funny, then it's reserved for geeky economics majors like myself. So that's neither here nor there. But it's an economics course as much as it is a sports course. But one of the things we're going to look at things is the industrial organization of sports. How do teams and leagues maximize profit? Is the concept of monopoly at play here? And one that's really kind of fun to discuss, we're going to be talking about competitive balance. And competitive balance is kind of fun to discuss because it has implications both on the field and off the field. And so when we start talking about competitive balance, we're going to start talking about things like salary caps and reverse order drafts, and in the European soccer system, the concept of promotion and relegation. How do leagues and sports promote fair competition, and is that good for them economically? Okay, so that's one thing. Then we're going to move on. We're going to move on and look at public finance. Yeah, public. Municipalities, states, countries, even when it comes to the Olympics, fight with each other in order to get sports facilities and sports teams and franchises to locate there. And they spend a lot of money. And the model has sort of shifted. Now we're seeing a lot more private financing of new stadiums, but that's not everything in the whole plan. Sometimes a lot of times, the local government, state government, federal government pays an awful lot of money to improve infrastructure around construction, stadiums, and things like that. How do municipalities benefit from having a sports franchise? We'll talk about the impact. You always say, well, having a sports franchise produces a lot of jobs. Well, what kind of jobs? Where? For who? What kind of spending does it promote? What does it do for the local economy? So that's an issue we'll talk about. Labor economics. Boy, couldn't have more fun with that than anything right now in the middle of the NBA lockout. This is really a question of how do labor markets work in professional sports? And can we see things differently between the different leagues? Is it all one big concept, or are there different things that work in different sports? We'll see that. And I think that's one thing that a lot of you commented about in your pressing issues that I asked you to do in the first discussion board. And then we're going to talk a little bit about one of the subjects that actually affects me on a daily basis, because I mentioned I am a coach here at Post, intercollegiate and amateur sports. And this is more in the business pages of sports than it usually is right now. Usually we're just worried about the BCS at this time of year, right? If you're a college football fan, instead of who's going to be in a BCS AQ conference. The conference realignment thing is huge. Sports is an entertainment business. Television is the moneymaker. Several of you mentioned ticket prices in your issues that you wanted to discuss, and we're going to examine a little bit I think that might make you look at that a little differently and say, are ticket prices what matters? Is where's the money, this huge money that we're talking about, where's it come from? What does it do? So these are some of the things we can do, and I think they'll address many of the things that you were in your opening discussion board. Other thing I'd like to point out too is, did you read the thing at least in the PowerPoint, but in Chapter 1 about Babe Ruth and how he went from being a pitcher to an outfielder, and it talks about comparative advantage and absolute advantage. You might be wondering, what's the reasoning of this? Because we're looking at Babe Ruth's career in economic terms and how economic analysis was applied in that case to his pure baseball career. But if you think widely enough, you can see how it translated into into the economics of the whole situation. Economic thinking can do an awful lot of things. I just added to the Unit 1 the Freakonomics Sports blog, and you're going to see economic analysis put into a lot of questions. And things as varied as from going for it on fourth down to salary caps to all sorts of things. So I think we can be very serious about what we do, but we can also indulge our passion for sports. So I think all that being said, I think I've covered everything I wanted to look at right now. Thank you very much for your participation to date. It is early Thursday afternoon, so this puts us in a time frame. Make sure if you haven't participated, please do so, and go through the material that's in there, and look out for some questions that I may throw in the discussion board that will kind of try to keep the discussion going. And then next week is when it really becomes serious, and that you need to be participating for grade. All right, if there are any questions, please contact me. All my contact information is, as I said earlier, in the course information section of the syllabus and also the course itself. Push that contact information, the course information tab. You'll find out where to get me. I'm usually here on campus just about every day, and I look forward to working with you in this class. It should be a lot of fun, but I also think it's going to be very revealing to us in a lot of ways. Okay, thank you very much.